Over the 1 week, it was informed how Will Blacksmith could be starring in a new draft named Star Richard, expressive the history of Richard Williams, the dad of Pong icons Venus and Serena Williams. Time Blacksmith has yet to prove the news story. It didn't halt fans of tweeting their emotion on the concept of the celebrity depicting such a uncompleted person. But down there were a few who weren't so happy in the selection, and not since they were interrogative the celebrity's ability, but since his leather color isn't deliberate black quite. In latter year, Hollywood has done advance in presenting sexual minorities on display, yet we yet discover by ourselves turning about the question of colorism. Colorism is outlined as discrimination versus more dark-skinned sexual minorities, and the concept how cigarette lighter-skinned sexual minorities are taking into account more than benefit, and up you complain about on the turmoil of flake millennials. It isn't a new conception. In America, colorism has existed with the days of bondage, wherever the tint of whose leather frequently established that job slaves were taking into account. Time black-skinned slaves had more than exhausting job street on the greenery, their lighting-skinned peer pressure normally treated inwardly making more than national tasks. The concessional treat occurred since lighting-skinned slaves were frequently the food of white slavery owners abusing their woman slaves. Above period, possessing a nearer vicinity to white became an instrument for surviving, and possessing cigarette lighter leather was seen as a desired property. Law trust those behavior are yet reflecting in Hollywood present. TV and movie through the many decades include proposed up a abundance of stereotypes and tropes we've grown up used to, such as the indicate, famous girls in high school or the daring dark boyfriend, and the identical reasoning can be attached to the way specific leather tones include been perceivable on display. It's two things. First of all, lighting-skinned human beings include ever been seen as more than appetizing to the main, says author and Dazed's TV observer, Bola Babalola. Or while I say main, I do indicate whites, since down there's vicinity down there to white, they lighting-skinned human beings are fair, seen as more than reasonable and lot facilitating to absorb, or black-skinned human beings, their experiences navigation racing is frequently so various to lighting-skinned human beings as, she continues. Babalola says more dark-skinned men and female are frequently seen as bestial and more than sexualized rather than their peer pressure in the print, because lighting-skinned human beings are frequently depicted as more than exquisite, less than menacing, and more than cute. A famous sample of the dynamical can be seen in Martin Lawrence's 90s U.S. situation comedy, Martin. The name Nature's lighting-skinned friend Jenna was entertainment-loving, cold-headed, and vocational because her top boyfriend and aide, Pam, was more than or less depicted as the contrary. She was daring, brief-tempered, and frequently at prospect in Martin, who often offended her through the Shaw. Yet, several TV audience mind how Coconut and Joel, Sam's ex-top boyfriend and present top boyfriend, who are both of black-skinned, were missed and weak. In 2016, Guardians of the Galactic actor Zoe Saldana came by study for take on the part of Nina Simone in a movie on the artist, following photos of her tiring more dark do-up and a orthopedic nasal surfaced on the internet. Lot of Simone's fans were unfortunate in the cast and disapproved of Saldana's part, quoting the artist's leather color and exterior as creature a urgent portion of her militancy. Zoe Saldana depicting Nina Simone proves how Hollywood can just admit one kind of minority group femininity thin and not too black as a lighting-skinned dark female. It's essential how I'm with my benefit, my plate, to show you how lot beautiful down there is in the African American society, she added. The later feeds in India's trillion-buck leather lighting production wherever several of Bollywood's top actors frequently approve these beauty means hopeful their adoring fans to brighten their leather. Up Dark Pantera's triumphant wonder didn't include the top recording for presenting its few dark letter exactly. Tempest, one of the largest visible dark superhero figures is the descendants of an old link of African priestesses, has ever been painted as a black-skinned female in Wonder's comics. But for the recent 20-year, she has been depicted as a lighting-skinned female in each Dwell action movie. If all of us gang along in a ultimate planet and say no, the is intended for a black-skinned actor, the workshop would say you've lose your hell reason and rental a junior, lighting-skinned actor, she added. But Dark Pantera ruined new land. Towards of the millions of pounds it raked in at the box office space, and awards consisting 3 Oscars for unique piece of music, suit and manufacture style, it was vaunted as a cinematographic festivity of dark beautiful. For Lot, it was the at first period fans had seen black-skinned men and female depicted in such a favorable and valiant lighting, proved to be a milestone time of black-skinned presentation in movie. Dark Pantera is the at first cinema I've seen in so lot black-skinned female and human beings creature depicted as characters and thing favorable. And not stereotype for one day. One of the reasons I loving Dark Pantera is BC we've never seen a black-skinned female act the loving concern. For our whole lives, dark female, by myself turned on, include purchased in the concept how you're not worthy of loving if you're not lighting skinned in lighting eyes plus kinky wool. But he told how in the instance of the movie on Richard Williams, Blacksmith is yet a really completed artist in celebrity force. He's marketing the movie and your departure to get a lot more than human beings' concern in observer it. He's a really difficult work artist and down there's a lot of reasons to throw him in addition the color of his leather, he added. Ajahn reasoned how if Blacksmith can do the part judiciary, later he's the order man for the work. The greater image of the planet of caste is a greater talk how goes for the special occurrence but it is a talk how as necessary to be had. I don't trust it's a colorism led cast but down there is a issue in the production, he signed.